What's up, everybody? Anthony Alfredo here, and today we're at the virtual Darlington Raceway on iRacing, and we're going to do some tips and tricks around this track because they call it too tough to tame for a reason, and that's because it's extremely challenging. A lot of different lanes here, very narrow racing surface, but abrasive surface that puts on some of the best racing in all of NASCAR. So the first thing we're going to do is load up our D-Box motion code so that we can get ourselves picking up on the subtle cues of the car's suspension, the bumps in the racetrack, all the seams and transitions, which is really going to help us maximize iRacing in the sim and make it a legitimate training tool. So I'll show you how this works here. We're sitting in the car. This will update live. We shouldn't have to close out iRacing or anything. We're going to open D-Box Game Center. We're going to install the motion code for iRacing. It's going to ask if we'd like to verify that. We're going to hit yes. Agree to the terms, install, and at that point it should be available for us to use. Yep, so it says ready. See me go up and down. It's going to center itself here. Now the next thing to do is going to be go to the settings, make sure we got our motion turned up to how we'd like it. We obviously want the main level at 100%. If you have different settings you want to adjust, for example, you could run it on high and turn the main level down, but these are those different profiles we came up with during a stream one day. We have a high, medium, and low. So we'll go on medium today. I think that'll allow us to pick up on a lot of the nuances of this track, and we'll close out of that, and now we're ready to drive. So first gear, we're in the NASCAR Next Gen car. The eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series is actually racing here this week. It's going to be an awesome event. This is such a good track. Could be chaotic too, you never know. But we're going to head down to the backstretch here. We're coming off pit road. You actually have to shift here, so you're going to run fourth gear into turn 3 and 4. Going to use up this racetrack, nice and easy on the gas. Not a lot of grip, got to keep those tires underneath you. And right before we get into turn 1, we're actually going to upshift to 5th. You can see the transition to the apron. Get back up onto the racetrack and turn back down the hill. Get a nice straight exit. That's really important here, is those low straight exits so you're not turning the front tires too much. I think we got to turn our brake bias back because I just locked them up with barely applying any pressure. But yep, low straight exits just to keep the front tire from working too hard on the exit and driving through that, but also slipping the rear tires out from underneath you. You can enter up on the racetrack like this. We go a little slower through this time just to show you. Get a little bit of a better angle through here so that when you turn down the hill, you're turning before everyone else, getting some clean air on the left front fender. It's going to help the car turn a lot. Down here in 3 and 4, you can literally wrap these hash marks all the way around the bottom. This next-gen car seems to get de-wedged if you straddle that seam, which makes it very loose, makes the back want to come around. So you want to be above it or below it. Some guys even enter as high as this, and you can see how much better my angle is through the middle. Same thing, turning before everybody else, down the back straightaway. I'm still fourth gear. We're going to get shifting in a minute. We're just taking our time to play this racetrack. There's a lot of grip all the way down this apron. Even though there's a transition here because there's less banking, there's grip down here. It's usually clean air because some guys aren't that low. Then you could drive the car straight out to the wall and get going again. Now we're going to pick up the pace here. Drive it at turn 1 in 5th gear. Carry a lot of throttle. 5th gear to see some lower RPMs help bog the car down a little bit, hunker it down. As you come through here, you can carry a lot of throttle. And we'll go back into turn 3 and downshift. We're going to run the high line this time. Enter really high right against the wall. Working up to it. Little touches okay. These composite bodies are very resilient. You just work the throttle all the way through there while you're up on that high side. You can drive it as low as this into turn 1 down the apron. It makes the car a little bit tighter when you do that, but it gives you more room to catch it, especially in a slide, because in dirty air the nose is going to want to wash all the way right into the wall. You can even diamond the higher side of 3 and 4, enter a little bit lower, drive it up to the wall, and if the car naturally wants to steer down, you can to get that straighter exit we were talking about. A little loose there on the exit. There's that pocket in the wall. I was able to actually keep the right rear end. We're going to take this higher entry here. staying up on the banking helps keep the front loaded for sure, but in clean air, it's really, or in dirty air, it's really hard to offset yourself to the right for sure, which is why you find guys just entering lower and lower and lower, just to be lower than the guy in front of them, and they're all kind of staggered until one guy has enough clean air he can run that higher line through the corner. Got to work up to the wall. You don't want to get into it. You can get stuck in it, slows your way down. But a lot of guys are going to straddle this too, like that. You can even run lower than the guy in front of you through the middle, just to keep some air on the left front fender, help the car turn better in dirty air. Went through it a little bit slower just to explain that process. 3 and 4, a lot of guys hot lap by running this line right here up to the wall and then back down to the bottom just to get that straight exit. I'm already losing quite a bit of rear grip if we run a handful of laps here. We'll try to hit this one at pace again. You can just roll in here without any brake, work the throttle through the middle, stay high, let the car turn down the hill. This is all repaved in real life, the exit of turn 2 that is. So from just past the middle of turns 1 and 2 through the exit of turn 2. Carry a lot of entry speed, wash up to the wall, let it turn, drive back down the hill. You can see how much time we gained right there. That seems to be how a lot of guys qualify. But in the race, you don't ask too much out of your tires, that's for sure. To the wall. This line is pretty traditional. That's how most guys are going to approach 1 and 2. Not too many options down there, but 3 and 4, you can enter right by the wall, work it all the way through the middle. Use that side force or the wall a little bit to help you turn. Now we're going to hit it pretty well there. Back to the apron. You can see all these different lines. You can see me move around with the D-Box haptic system as I cross those transitions too, which is really fun, but allows me to really feel what the car's doing in those situations as the suspension loads up differently. Some guys enter really low, get up to the wall, and then they don't turn off of it. They just stay on it like this and work the fence all the way through the middle. That's in real life. On iRacing, I don't see a whole lot of guys wrap the wall tight like that. I don't know if it's because they find it easier to get into it or if it's just a little bit slower. So we're going to have to pay attention to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series race to see what the guys do. But I can tell you for sure, if anyone's got a D-Box haptic system on their rig, they're going to have a huge advantage at a track like this just because of all these seams, the wall, so you move around when I get into it like that, the transitions. Just watch me one more time as we cut this transition into turn 1. See me move around. Could really feel the front slide there as well as these tires wear off. Making a big difference. And 3 and 4, I mean, you can run down there as well, so there's definitely a lot of help to have. You could dime in this bottom like this, get up to the hash marks and turn back below them, but wait till all 4 tires are below it to really pick up the throttle aggressively so that they're all on equal surface angle. And those are a couple laps around Darlington. I mean, I feel like there's so many different lines you could run here, and I wanted to help show you that, put that in perspective, and explain how D-Box really helps me pick up on those nuances, do a better job behind the wheel. Try to rip the fence here without actually hitting it. Every time I go on camera, I seem to have a problem with that. Here we go. We're looking pretty good here. That side force actually turned us away there. Oh, we're going to crash. I figured that was a perfect way to end the video because for some reason everyone likes to see me crash with the D-Box haptic system just to know how much it tosses you around. Pretty realistic, actually, impact like that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hopefully that was a huge help for you. If not, enjoy racing at Darlington on iRacing. Enjoy the races in real life, and certainly watch the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series event this evening.